Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Love Speaks Live. I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. I'm a keynote speaker, host of Intentional Excellence podcast, and also the host of Love Speaks Out in the community. But tonight, it's just you and me. And this episode is called Wear Your Imperfections Like Jewels. Now, let's be real. Most women, probably most of us here, struggle with how we look. Maybe it's the same for men, but I know more about women to tell about this. We stress about our weight, our face, our skin, our hair, our age. Society tells us we have to be flawless to be valuable. And social media doesn't make it easier, right? You post a picture and immediately wonder, will they judge me? Will they notice my flaws? And when you're a woman in the public eye, body shaming comes fast and heavy. And it's sad, but that's how society has shaped us. And I'll be honest with you, I was no different. I used to think I had to be perfect before I could show up. Perfect face, perfect makeup, perfect body, perfect smile. And for a long time, those fears kept me small. But here's what I learned: your imperfections are not your weakness, they're your jewels. So, what do we even mean by imperfections? For women, it could be anything: your skin, your height, your weight, your age, your voice, your smile, your accent. And then there are the emotional imperfections, the fears, the insecurities, the doubts you carry quietly. I have so many imperfections. Let me share mine. Physically, I've got plenty. I'm only 4'10" and not exactly model height. That's one. Also, I've always been self conscious about my teeth. I've never been a fan of going to the dentist, so that made me extra aware of my smile. I've had trauma with going to the dentist as a child, so it's really the last place I would go. My weight has been another challenge. Being short, every little pound shows. And honestly, I love to eat too. But when you get to a certain age, that big dinner out with friends doesn't disappear the next day. It stays with you. Then there's the makeup. When I first started showing up online, I had no clue how to do it properly. And people noticed. My sister would be the first one to message me, Candice, fix your eyebrows. And those comments used to bother and hurt me sometimes. I I bought all the gadgets that I can use just to put fake eyelash and still couldn't put it on without feeling uncomfortable. So, you know what? I end up just removing it and not using it ever. And as a speaker, my imperfections followed me too. Look, I'm a non native English speaker. I grew up in the Philippines where, yes, English was our medium of instruction in the schools where I went to, but I carried my accent, my Filipino way of structuring sentences. For a while, I worried about my grammar, my pronunciation, even just the way I sounded. And for someone stepping into the world of public speaking, that fear was huge. But here's the truth: those fears are still there. I still make mistakes. I still catch myself. But I don't let them own me anymore. The shift came when I realized this: authenticity beats perfection every single time. When I stopped hiding, when I showed up as me, accent, height, teeth, weight, all of it, I finally felt free. And once I embraced that, I started to love myself deeply. Now, I wake up every day literally in love with myself. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean it in the healthiest way possible. I look in the mirror and instead of tearing myself apart, I talk to myself with love. And I've shared this before in one of my episodes called Mirror Talks. I look in the mirror and I say, I love you. You're gorgeous. You're gonna be okay. And honestly, you'll also hear me just randomly yelling around my house. I will just say, I love myself. Yes, my kids think I'm a little crazy, and we would just tease each other. And then one of them would say, Mom, you look like Gloria. And we just start laughing. But you know what? It's healing and it works for me. And you know what happened when I started loving myself? I stopped caring about what others think and what they will say. People, I'm sure, people who I'm sure don't like my change when I first started are the ones following my page, or they wouldn't know what I'm doing, right? My former, like classmates from the Philippines in elementary, it's just, I'm like so touched and honored because like they reach out to me and they say like, Candice, keep it up, you make us proud. Random people from all over the world message me to say how they appreciate me. And also, when I started to love myself, I stopped chasing and I started attracting. I get surprised when I got surprised when I found out one time that I have fans who found me on the internet and are closely watching me, even like watching my podcast, and they just found me on the internet, not even on the social media. And sometimes I would also get DMs and messages like, Candice, keep up the good work. Thank you for doing this. Like people that I haven't even spoken to, and like just from places where I live that I haven't had any contact with. And sometimes I'm like, I still think, wow, they're talking about me. But honestly, I know why. They feel my authenticity. They feel that I love myself. And that kind of energy is magnetic. I've been meeting so many women recently. And I can tell you, a lot of them are going through something heavy. Many are facing separation, divorce, or just trying to find their new path in life. But these are strong women, but they're in the middle of deep challenges. And that's also one reason why I always show up every day on my social media page to hopefully inspire them. Look, I'm not better than you, than anyone. I will never put myself above you or anyone else because I was in your shoes once too. I struggled, I doubted myself, and I questioned my worth. Here's another truth: it all starts with you, with accepting who you are, flaws and all. And when you do that, something shifts. You start to see your worth. And once you see your worth, everything else changes. Look, I'm 54 years old and I'm proud of it. I don't use filters. I haven't done Botox, cosmetic surgery, or any laser treatments. Now, I'm not saying I never will. And I'm not judging anyone who does. But what I'm saying is at 54, right now, I can still show up as me. I still feel good enough, not needing any of those stuff. Maybe in the future, but right now, I'm okay. I do my own makeup. I do my own hair. I still struggle with my weight, but I work at it. Like I exercise and I dance every day. And really, here's the wild part. At this age, okay, I've had multiple love interests as young as 30 years old reaching out to me. Not because I've done something grand to make myself look different, but simply because I became me. And I'm not sharing this to brag at all. I'm sharing it to inspire, to remind you that you don't have to be perfect to be loved, noticed, or accepted. Just have to be you. Don't ever settle for anyone not deserving your worth. So, to anyone out there going through separation, heartbreak, or just trying to rediscover themselves, know that I see you, I was you, and I want you to know you can get through this. You can love yourself. And when you do, you'll start attracting the right people, the right opportunities, the right energy into your life. Because Another truth: when you accept your flaws, you discover your worth. And when you know your worth, nothing can stop you. So, let me leave you with a few steps you can start today. First, name your imperfections. Don't hide them, acknowledge them. Second, reframe them. Instead of saying, I hate this about me, say, this is me and I'm learning to love it. Third, practice mirror talk. Tell yourself every day, I love you, every single day. Mirror or not mirror, it doesn't matter. And number four, show up anyway. Don't wait until you're perfect, because that day never comes. And five, remember that you are enough right now, and you can still work on becoming better every single day. So, everyone, wear your imperfections like jewels, because they're not your shame, they're your shine. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Love Speaks Live. I'm Candice Ruggiero. Keep watching. My love speaks out in the community will continue as I search for the community member that can share their story. So watch out for it. And until then, love yourself first, always. Again, this is Candice Ruggiero wishing you a wonderful night. And remember, love speaks always. Good night, everyone. Take care.